My name's Sam. I've been married to Janet now it'll be 22 years this July. I believe God has called me to play a role in helping to racially unify the church.
Sam and I grew up under the same denomination. We grew up and church was everything. Church was our life.
In the previous church before we came here, I was ordained as a minister, an elder in the church, active in teaching ministries and doing several things. We moved to Scottsdale about 6 or 7 years ago, and one of the reasons that we moved this direction was for our son Samuel. At the age of about 2 years old, he was diagnosed with autism, and it was pretty tough for us to find the services that we need where we were living. And as time progressed, we found ourselves somehow over at Scottsdale Bible Church at SBC. Our former church was a predominantly black church, and we were there for a little over 20 years before we transitioned to where we are now. And a whole lot of that really had to do with where we saw God leading us and the role He had for us to play. Most of the things that have happened, especially in the areas of race, have affected us as a family. We've experienced a lot of it. It's troubling sometimes when there are those who claim to be our friend who don't believe that it's real, don't believe that it happens, but it does. It's tough when it can be ignored and not even acknowledged as real. There were several things that were happening nationally in the news. And so I had gotten pretty frustrated and prayed about it. My wife, I took her advice. She said, you need to send Pastor Jamie an email. Just tell him what you're thinking. Within a few weeks, we had a chance to actually sit down and talk. I shared with him what was on my heart, and he was really glad to hear it. And one of the things that Scottsdale Bible encourages is, hey, if you see that there's a need somewhere, then something can be done about it. Get going on it, do it. And so that's what I did. It came time for the class to start, and God did a great work in that, and it's actually spun off into some other small groups and other things that people are doing in the church as a result.
I think if we are going to start having a real honest and open dialogue and really start breaking down those barriers, we got to be able to ask the question and people not be so offended or feel afraid. We're just brothers and sisters from other mothers and fathers, but we're brothers and sisters in Jesus.
I believe that when the church comes together, God will be glorified.
The church can be a place where anybody of any race, of any nationality, you can come here and still feel loved. You can come here and still be accepted, because that's what Jesus did.
When I'm old and gray and rocking in a chair somewhere, I'd like to know that there are multiple generations of people who are worshiping together, of various cultures, styles of worship. It just reminds me of what heaven could be like. I'd like to be able to see the church be a reflection of what heaven is truly going to be like. It may not happen in my lifetime, but I'd really be working hard to make sure I do my part to see that happen.